Isn't that a Metallica track?
Ooh, the underside.
That's my James Hetfield.
Brought to you by Noah's Arcade. Brought to you. By Noah's
Hello.
Hello over there.
Hello, Phil. How are
you doing?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm not quite as tired as I was now. As I was
2 minutes before.
No, probably maybe half an hour ago.
Probably food.
Yeah, it was probably.
Probably the fact that we've only had a Subway and toast today. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, but we kind of chilled out and stuff now.
Yeah, we're a little bit more relaxed.
Mm.
A little bit.
For those of you
That don't know.
this we are at EGX.
Well, we're not right now.
We're not right now. No, we are at our.
It's the time of EGX.
It is. It's that time of year again. And I am just looking up which episode number this should be.
I want to say 44.
Oh, that's a good call. Oh no, not quite. 36.
Oh, okay.
Because the last one was July. That was
Fair.
our E3 predictions episode.
How did that go? Has
I don't
E3
know.
happened yet?
Yeah, no. No, it was the E3GX
3GX.
episodes. So yeah, we are. Oh, well, I'm High Stefan.
I'm Monkey Man Phil.
And this is episode 36. Today has been the first day of EGX, and
Crazy
it's been
that.
good.
Yeah, it has been good.
I was a little bit hesitant because the lineup wasn't.
Why were you hesitant?
Well, all the announcements were really last minute,
They were actually.
and it didn't seem that it was going to come together because Microsoft aren't even there themselves.
They're not. They have consoles, but they're not theirs. I just found it funny.
That's because you're a foul human being.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But this is your first time back at EGX in 3 years, isn't it, Phil?
Is it?
Yeah, because after 2015, we didn't go again. We didn't even do a one-day thing.
Did we not?
No.
So then, yes.
And how have you found it?
I don't. I like it. It just feels a lot smaller. Right. A lot smaller than prior. Just doesn't feel like they're taking up the whole room. They're just taking up a small amount of it. But
it's more rooms.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah, it's like one extra hall, and it's more spaced out than it was.
That's probably what it is. Probably.
But we didn't even venture across and look at any of the stalls.
No,
any
we
of
didn't.
the merch stalls at the other end with the retro games either, did we?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
but
yet.
We do have more to come. Hopefully, we'll knock out an episode for every day, perhaps.
Maybe 2.
Well, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean 2 episodes?
I'd
What?
say we could do 2 episodes tomorrow.
Why would we do 2 episodes tomorrow?
Not your cast.
Oh yes, of course. Yes. Yeah, but that's not a Vanderhoff and Co.
No.
That's our
That's a podcast though.
It is.
It's an episode.
That's our sister project.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be an episode of Nacho Cast coming. It'll probably be just as exciting as the previous ones, and by just as exciting, we mean not very.
Meh.
So if you like listening to
People eating Chris
people
on
eating,
microphone.
people masticating,
Tons of mastication.
look, there's a plane coming in just over there. That's quite cool. Mind
That
your
is
head. Sorry, we're in an Airbnb, and due to Phil's elongated stature, he caught his head on a light shade and knocked it off and broke it. So, but he was apologetic and helped tidy it up. But yeah. So anyway, yes, games-wise, let's not get too far off track for this, otherwise we waffle on and.
Should we start at the very beginning then?
Yeah, if we go through. So what did we
Start off with Assassin's Creed.
We did. We played Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Good old Odyssey.
Which is set. It's the Spartans, isn't it?
The Spartans.
Spartans.
Are you ready?
It wasn't too bad a queue.
It was a very quick queue, considering I was expecting a hell of a lot more. But it is the Thursday,
Yes.
so we logically went for the games that people are more likely wanting to linger around and wait for a long time.
Yeah. But what did you think?
I enjoyed it. My only problem was my finger struggled to play,
Yes.
which is what I've been finding thus far today.
Yeah, you had the misfortune of breaking one of your fingers.
Right hand index finger,
Yeah.
which is probably the most used.
Well,
for-
you've always said it was your favourite.
I do. Without it, I cry.
Mm.
I think if they told me they had to chop it off, I'd be like, no, can you just let it go black on my hand, please?
It's you've done well to last the day with managing just about.
Just about.
Um,
But that being the first game, and the button that you needed to attack with being
it had to be
R1 made
So-
it a little bit more complex for me.
because the demo we had, you could choose between the male or female
I
characters.
want to say Alessiana?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
You're forgetting that we're not a good podcast, Phil. So
We are
a
the
good
best.
podcast would
We
have.
are the best podcast.
We're not. We're not.
No, we're not a good podcast. We are the best.
We're the best.
podcast.
Okay.
We're the best thing, as the guy from the States said. We are the best thing to come out of the UK since tea.
Since tea. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think that our one and only review that we've ever had, and it was good. So 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you played as the female
I
character.
played as a female character.
Did you still? Was it the same? You had to do the exact same.
Exactly the same thing. I don't know in terms of how your rapport would have been with the ship scenario, because she seemed a little bit flirtatious.
Oh, okay. My guy was just like quite abrupt.
Really?
Yeah.
She seemed like she was being a little bit sort of devious.
Did you take the
flirtatious.
boat out?
No, I didn't.
See, because that was what I was wanting to do. I just wanted to go out on the boat, but it forced me to go into some battle.
It's forced me to do some battle, and then I spoke to him, and then it was like, no, you need to go back to do the battle. I was like, okay. So I went down to do the battle again, but because of right index finger not being so great, I was struggling to get my hand into a position and practice, because obviously since I broke it, I haven't really been doing any gaming, because I just don't want to injure said finger any more than it already is. Well, I don't think you can really. It's broken.
Yes. That's unfortunate.
It is.
But I also didn't do very well, not through broken finger, just through lack of any skill. But it was the first time I've played that particular title.
Well, it didn't help that it didn't come up with any directions for moveset.
No, I couldn't work out how to dodge.
I think that was B. Is it B that's...
Circle.
Yeah. I think Xbox controller is B, isn't it? where circle is.
Yeah, I can't. But I kept trying it, and it
You had
didn't
to roll
seem to
away, so there's a direction.
like a kind of a dodge.
yeah, like a dodge from Bloodborne or
Dark
something like
Souls and whatnot. Okay.
because that was the whole thing that they were going for.
Well, if it's quiet another day, we can always give it another bash. It
I
looked
don't
really
know.
nice.
Oh, it was lovely. It felt nice. I didn't get to grips so much with like the mechanic of climbing. I don't know about yourself.
I had no problem with that.
Oh no, I just couldn't find
But-
anywhere to climb.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't mind that too much, but I've not long been completing Shadow of War,
Yeah.
and I'm so used to tapping the button to climb in that, to climb quicker, that I was doing that in Assassin's Creed, and I didn't
Okay.
need to, but I couldn't get out of. But that's just me. That was. But no, it was all right. I'll probably get it, but it won't be one that I'll.
Day one.
Yeah,
It'll
no,
probably
it
be
won't
like
be.
later on when you see it reduced.
Yeah. Well, because I've still got Odyssey. No, I haven't. What's the other one? Origins. I've still got Origins to start. And I haven't even... I've got it, but I haven't started it. And the same with the Ezio collection.
That's fair.
So...
So I haven't played any of them since the second one, really.
Yeah.
So, and I think you and Ant both keep telling me about playing Black Flag, so I think I might invest in getting that at some stage.
Yeah, Black Flag probably is the best.
So far.
Yeah. Apart from the Brotherhood 2, number 2, and Brotherhood, the Ezio collection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't mind Assassin's Creed. It will be one that I get, but not
I
straight
wouldn't
away.
have mind seeing a lot more, like, combat from...
Well, I wandered off. I left. I didn't bother doing that fight, and I literally went off to explore.
Oh, see, I went around somewhere, and it just took me into the sea, and I was like, obviously I can swim, but I was like, I don't know if there was an area that I could climb up onto to do anything. So I was like, right, I'll just go on the boat then.
Yeah, I ran off and found some area, some like fort with some guys in it, so I killed them. I blew
You didn't
up
introduce
this-
yourself then?
Well, no, that's not what they do in Assassin's Creed. They were enemies, and they wanted to kill me first.
Did they?
Mm.
You sure?
Mm.
Okay, because I was about to say, if you're just killing people for the sake of it, that's pretty bad.
Well, true, but they already voiced their intentions and wanting to harm me, so I killed them.
That's fair.
And then I set fire to... I threw a guy on top of some fire. He was already dead, and he didn't catch fire, which was disappointing. But,
That sucks.
but no, it was all right. Very nice looking. It's... I don't know how if it's much different from Origins, but I would have liked to have done the boats. I would have liked... That's why I want to go on it again, because I want to see what the boats are like. And that's it for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I probably will get it, but just not in a rush. No rush.
No,
Never rush.
never. What did we play after that?
What we did after that was we played Hitman 2.
Oh, yes.
It's a good job I got this little app, and I've ticked off as we've gone along.
Oh, nice. Good thinking there, Phil. Enjoyed Hitman 2. That was it was a good demo.
My only problem with it, not enough time to play it.
Yeah, well, even the guy hosting the stand said it's a game that requires a longer...
Period of time.
Yeah.
A lot longer, and I don't like. I love the fact that like you could just walk, because I was walking to go and pick up the weapons that they tell you about, and then there's a guy on the phone in a flamingo costume
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, I've just knocked this guy out for the flamingo costume, and I lost my keys. I don't know where they are, but I know that she's going to be in a party and she wants a guy in a flamingo costume." So I was like, I'm going to wait for you to finish that call. I'm going to take your flamingo costume and figure out where I need to go. But then as soon as I took him out, someone saw me somewhere. I was like, bugger.
Yeah, I went and got the keys. I then found the flamingo guy, gave the flamingo guy back his keys. He went to the car to get whatever he wanted out of it. I accosted him at the car. Somebody saw it. I was hiding. They shot at the car. As I was running away, the car exploded and took out the guy shooting at me. So I then ran and hid elsewhere, disguised myself as I think one of the people working on the supercar that one of the targets is like the main designer on.
Oh yeah.
So I found a screwdriver and sabotaged his car.
I saw you doing that.
And then when he got called to come and do it, as he came around the corner to investigate and fix the car, I then stabbed him in the throat with the screwdriver and then dragged him off to hide him. And then that was just about as much time. I was just trying to find somewhere to ditch the body when they called me off the demo. But it's good. I might get it
not day
at
one.
some point, not day one. Ant will get it, but probably not day one.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because he'll be balls deep in Red Dead 2. So
balls? Do you mean his whole body will be in Red Dead 2?
What? True. Yeah.
Floating down the Mississippi River.
Mm-hmm. Because they announced Red Dead 2, the Red Dead Online beta.
He'll be loving it.
Yeah.
He'll be loving it. We literally won't see him.
No. He'd disappear.
Into a forest with bears and crocodiles in it.
Have they listed a forest on there?
Well, there's the marshland, isn't there, where the...
Excuse me.
Sorry, there's a marshland where the crocodiles are, so I'm guessing it's like a foresty sort of area. Like a marshy forest.
Sorry, got you yawning now, haven't I?
Yeah, a marshy foresty area, so I'm assuming that's what it is.
But yeah, Hitman 2, it looked very nice. You commented saying that they... Because I said that it just looked more of the same, and your response was it looks more polished.
It looks a lot more polished. I don't know in terms of size comparison to the maps on the last one, but it does feel like a lot more alive. From what?
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
Because I've only played the demo 2 levels. The universe that you're walking through feels a little bit more active, like things are like people are actually reacting to real life situations around you, whereas the last one didn't feel so. Like it felt like one or two characters reacting to things where the others were on a path anyway, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's what I thought anyway. I don't know about yourself.
I've not played enough of the first one to make that
assumption,
but I do I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably right.
Yeah, it just felt a little bit more lived in. I think that's a way of saying it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we should do now is bring in one of the interviews.
Which one are we going to do?
Well, what we'll do is we'll do them in order. So we'll start with the interview we did with the gentleman by the name of Mick from Four Horses.
He rides all of the 4 horses at the same time.
All the 4 horses, he brings them. And the games that he's on the show floor, Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo.
Yep.
What we'll do is we'll go over to the interview and then we'll...
the interview floor will take it from here.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about it afterwards.
And then the floor will take it back to us.
Yep.
Past selves, future selves.
Yep. So, over to the interview.
Bye for a second.
Well, hello. We are on the show floor, EGX 2018. It's High Definition.
And Monkey Man Phil.
And we are looking at some very bright, beautiful games at the moment.
We are indeed.
And Phil's currently playing one at the moment. He's engrossed, that's why he's so quiet.
Yep. Hi.
Very good, Phil. So, right. And so, yes, this is the first of our, hopefully, many interviews from EGX 2018. And with us, we have the mastermind behind the two games in front of us. Sir, thank you for joining us. If you wouldn't mind telling us who you are and what you're here with.
Yes, certainly. Hi, I'm Mick Waits. I am the solo developer behind the company Four Horses, and we are here showing off Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo on the Nintendo Switch and Xbox One.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us, as I have a... Yes. See, I'm very rusty at this. It's going to take... Yeah, I should have had a drink beforehand. Forgot my hip flask. So, we have Kid Trip, Miles and Kilo in front of us. Now, I asked you prior to recording whether or not Kid Trip was the predecessor
Yes.
to Miles and Kilo. So, if we start with Kid Trip and we'll go from there. So, Kid Trip's a side-scrolling
auto-run platform adventure would be how I would describe it. The words Dark and Souls have featured in many of the interviews to it because people seem to find it quite difficult. It's a punishing experience with deceptively cute graphics.
That's exactly, because I had a little go of it on the 3DS and found myself dying over and over to this one same frog. So it's... You were dying to the monkey, were you?
Those monkeys.
So it's an 8-bit style, kind of. Yeah, it's got that 8-bit blown up kind of look to it.
Very, very low resolution sprites, a few more colours than your 8-bit systems generally had. We've not particularly tried to stick to any colour palette. I know a lot of people do that. They'll try and make them with like Nest palettes or whatever. But yeah, both games are very much old school style, just simple, straightforward fun. Pick up and play, don't take long to download, don't take long to get you back in the action when you lose a life. There's no loading screens. It's just pure, unadulterated fun. That's our philosophy, really.
Well, it's a great philosophy to have with games that we see so many of these days, where you're tutorials before you can start, or there's loot boxes and loading times and you have to wait for a half an hour cutscene. It's nice to just it's a refreshing change to just get into the action straight away. So Kid Trip is, you said originally it was an iOS title.
Yeah, it was originally developed by an extremely talented individual called Mike Burns, who did all the artwork, the level design and the programming. And I hate him because why haven't I got that much talent? And he developed it as an iOS game because he don't think he ever really dreamed it'd make it onto as many consoles as it has, let alone as many consoles as it's going to. And as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with the game, and I was basically begging him to let me work on a conversion of it for 3DS, because at the time that was the console I was working on, and the graphics just looked beautiful with that stereoscopic layering. And eventually, about 4 years later, I got the chance to do it. And at the time, the Switch was released, and it's like, well, it's crazy not to do a Switch version, wouldn't it? So that's it. Kid Trip's now out on 3DS and Switch.
So, it makes very good use of the 3D, as that was the first thing that actually caught my eye. And you said you were working on something else at the time? Or were you working on something else at the time?
When I was first discussing it with a possibility with Mike, I was working for another company making some hidden object games that I didn't particularly like working on that much, but I had access to the development hardware, so I converted my own game that had previously been on DSi called Digger Dan. I converted that to 3DS, and I set up Four Horses solely for the purpose of publishing that game, and I never really had any plans of doing anything further than that, but getting the chance to do Kid Trip sort of allowed me to maybe look at working at things from a different angle instead of developing my own things, take work from other talented individuals who don't have access to the consoles and bring those across. And anyone else out there with some great games, come see me.
So we've got is Miles and Kilo the is it a spiritual successor? Is that how you would describe it to Kid Trip?
We have decided it is definitely an actual sequel, possibly a second sequel to Kid Trip, because Kid Trip has a little bit of an outro at the end when you beat the game that sort of suggests that maybe something else could insert in the middle of the two games as a true first sequel. But Miles and Kilo is definitely a sequel. It's the same characters, it's similar scenario, but Miles and Kilo brings a lot more variety into the fray. You've got full control this time because the game was designed off the bat for PC, consoles and mobile. But there's more moves in there that Mike would have wanted to put into the original game. But had he kept going with Kid Trip development at the rate he was, it would have never been finished, basically. So it was a case he decided to draw the line, get it out, and then the response from the public buoyed him on and made him feel that he wasn't wasting his time doing this, and he immediately took all the unfinished mechanics and started work on Miles and Kilo, adding in boss fights and swinging on vines and sliding under little crevices and the like, and Miles and Kilo was born.
So the original ideas, so Miles and Kilo itself brings across a lot of the unused ideas for also the wish list.
Essentially the wish list, yeah. I mean, when I got my hands on the code to convert it for 3DS, I did see things about wall jumps in there that didn't make it into the game that are in Miles and Kilo, but there's nothing about ropes, there's nothing about boss fights and so on. So it was more of the wish list. Like I say, with any game, you could go on in development forever. It's knowing when to say, this is ready.
Yeah.
This is a game in its own right. And I think Mike did it right. I think he released at the right time.
So, Miles and Kilo. Miles is the boy.
Yes.
Kilo's the dog.
Kilo's the dog.
How did you get that one?
I don't know. Man.
Is that the poster in front of you, perhaps, Phil?
I didn't see that, no.
Oh, okay. So, Miles in the first one, can you give us a brief kind of plot as to how one becomes the other?
What, from one game to the next?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Given that in the first game he manages to crash his plane into a giraffe, you'd think you'd be reluctant to get back in a plane
I
and
hate
fly
when
over
that
a pond.
happens.
I do. I mean, it's 3 times that it's happened to me. You'd think I'd learn. So yeah, he gets in his plane. This time figures his dog will probably maybe chase away the giraffes, but they end up flying over a haunted island instead, and their plane's brought down by a mysterious spectre.
Ah.
So they then have to go and recover all the stolen parts of their plane from the boss characters and escape. And yeah.
So, in terms of the inspiration that the first game that I thought of was Adventure Island.
Yeah.
You've got the fruit. God, it's coming towards the end of the first day, Phil, and already I'm sounding like it's Sunday. Struggling. You've got the throwing of the fruit mechanic.
Yeah.
It's got a very Adventure Island aesthetic to it. Is that where the inspiration lay for these games?
There's several games Mike's listed as his inspirations, and Adventure Island's definitely at the top. Sonic the Hedgehog's in there, certainly with the zoom attack with Kilo, and obviously Mario, and well, Wonder Boy and Adventure Island sort of the same game anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely those games. It's just great, just pure fun.
So was it intentional to make Kid Trip as hard as it actually is, and does Miles and Kilo follow that similar kind of scale of punishment, or is it a little bit on the is it easier?
It definitely was intentional to make Kid Trip a difficult game. That's how games were back in the older days, because you were limited for the capacity on the cartridges. They could only get so much content in there. So to draw it out, obviously, the games were made quite difficult. Miles and Kilo turns the difficulty down a notch when you play on console, because you've got full control. So you don't feel quite that panicked pressure to react to what's going on around. But if you flip it into auto run mode right off the bat, you'll have a hard time.
Okay.
It can be equally punishing. I mean, someone was saying, particularly the last level, they spent like 3 hours just on the final level, and that wasn't in auto run mode. So it can get there difficulty-wise, but once you get the hang of it, once you get the flow of the levels, it's immensely rewarding. And there's a time attack mode and achievements to keep you coming back to just squeeze that extra drop of playability out of it.
So, I mean, I've played it on the handhelds that you so kindly gave us to use, lent us. So I wasn't really able to get a good feel for the sound, and it's all got its music that's full.
The music's all very much chip tunes created by another talented guy called Chris Cutler. He's created the music for both games, and the sound effects are very typically retro.
And do you know if they take any inspiration for any previous game, sort of any series of the What the hell am I on about? Right.
I say no. Does it say if you haven't asked a question?
Yeah. I don't.
I don't know, unfortunately. I wasn't involved in the development of either games whilst the music was being done, so I couldn't answer that. It's never been asked. So
there you go. Well, it still hasn't really technically been asked.
That's true.
I'll just edit that one out. So we're seeing Kid Trip. We've got that one running on. Did you say an Xbox? Was that?
Kid Trip's currently running on the Switch because that's the one that's going to take more companies and work to other platforms.
Okay.
Miles and Kilo's currently running on Xbox, but it's unfinished. It's not
Okay.
ready for release yet, but hopefully soon.
So, what systems is it currently out on at the moment? Hasn't Miles and Kilo just been released on Switch?
Just in July, just gone. And Kid Trip's out on Switch and 3DS. I would like to do a 3DS version of Miles and Kilo at some point, but unfortunately the player base for 3DS just seems to be going away, and I feel it would be quite a lot of effort, but I'd still like to do it, but I'm not going to promise anything.
No, okay.
But both games are coming to PS4, Xbox One, Vita, and Windows Store.
So, you say yourself that you wanted to jump on with the conversion of Kid Trip to the 3DS. Miles and Kilo to 3D. No, sorry. Originally, before.
Sorry, yes.
Right back, because I've got no kind of proper path for my interview technique. Parkinson, I am not. But you were wanting to get it on the 3DS. It seemed like a title. Where does your background lie when it comes to game development program? You say you were programming, isn't it? Because you said we were chatting about the Spectrum, and you mentioned working with the creator of Manic Miner.
I did. That was many years. We were sort of in PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 days by then. So I started game development just before the turn of the millennium, working for a company, as I say, working on Dreamcast, PlayStation games there and then. But that was as a project manager and a tester to start with.
Okay.
I'm self-taught as a programmer, so I sort of did all that in the background, and I didn't have enough faith in myself. I didn't really think that I would ever get to do it as a job because I'd not been educated. I'd not gone through proper college education for that. But developing Digger Dan as a hobby on the DS, sort of using homebrew gear, sort of proved to myself that I could do it. So I moved across into a programming role after that, and it's never looked back, essentially.
And you set up Four Horses, you say, with the intention of...
Purely for bringing Digger Dan from DSi to 3DS, because DSiWare was quite limited in its reach, and the new console was on the way, plus the stereoscopic 3D. I personally think that 2D games look better on those screens than actual 3D polygon games do. I think the layering looks nicer, so as soon as I saw one of the screens, I just wanted to get my game on it. And I got it conveyed quite quickly, but then finding a publisher was difficult, so I was sat on the version for about 2-3 years and just happened to be in a position then to set up a company myself, so never looks back.
Well, that's the best way to be. It's to have been in the industry, to start from a system like the Dreamcast or the original PlayStation, which we are big fans of here at Noah's Arcade. and it's really nice to see like the spirit of old school gaming coming across in titles, even like new systems like the Switch itself and the Xboxes and the PS4s, and you've got these the handheld gaming market is proving to be so popular. I mean, yeah, the 3DS might not be anywhere near as big as it was, but the Switch is proving to be that sort of the exact hybrid that Nintendo are touting it as.
Yeah, 100%. They've scored a blinder with the Switch. It's a fantastic little machine, and everyone obviously wants their games on it these days. But it is such a great system. It's a little underpowered, but generally that doesn't really matter. The games generally run fine. They just don't necessarily look as nice for some of the AAA titles. But to then just be able to pick that up and take it wherever you want, it seems to be exactly what people want.
Yeah.
So it's a great system, and Nintendo have done really well there, and I thank them for it.
So the underpowered levels that you have you found any difficulties with bringing any of these games to the Switch itself over anything like the Xbox or the PS4?
No, absolutely not. Not with sprite-based games. In fact, I think I've seen a couple of sprite-based games that have released on Switch and have not performed particularly well in terms of frame rate, and I sort of question why, because it's a perfectly capable machine of drawing sprites.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it whatsoever. And games like these, the sort of low-resolution pixel art games, just look fantastic on that screen in handheld mode, so they're a perfect fit.
So, to talk about what kind of things can we expect from Miles? I'll say Miles and Kilo, because that's the big boy at the moment. That's the newbie, still fresh off the starting blocks. Because you say it was July that it. So what can we expect from Miles and Kilo? This is your time to shout about the game and tell everybody to go buy it, basically, and why they should.
Well, quick answer is simply fun. It is old school fun. It's a quick download. There's no patches, no loot boxes. There was no crowdfunding. It's just pick up and play, lose a life, get straight back into the action. You won't ever be slowed down by a loading screen. You will simply have fun, and that's what games should be.
Definitely. How many levels?
There's 36 levels in Miles and Kilo, 5 boss fights, and it's spread across 5 different worlds, with quite a lot of different graphical themes and variety going on in there. So I thought that was my phone ringing then. Someone's playing Pac-Man somewhere.
Aha. Oh, it's your ringtone. Nice. So that's your history, is it? The old school gaming?
Absolutely. I was born in the 70s, so I was around to see the sort of first arcade game starting to spread their way across the country. Pong, Space Invaders, Pac-Man, my personal favourite, Robotron 2084. I've been very fortunate in that I've seen the evolution right from the start, really, of video games, and it's good to be part of it now.
Yeah. You. So is it? It feels like it's the combination of your work that you're now able to be fully kind of in the industry, having grown up.
Yeah, again, for me, it was a thing that I should have believed in myself more early. I wish I'd got into it sooner, but I sort of saw it as almost like a Hollywood thing. It's almost like a dreamland. People don't actually really work in that industry. They just somehow created by magic of video games. They just appear. I wish I'd got into it sooner.
Yeah. It's a shame that, because it's only yourself and...
my buddy there's here just helping along for the show. The 4 Horses is just me. I'm a solo developer and stumbling his way through the pitfalls of running a country.
Running the country?
Yeah.
You didn't tell us that.
That was meant to be secret.
Oh, damn.
You
heard it here first, folks.
That's NDA. You can't release that news till tomorrow.
Damn.
So I'm running the country and trying to make games at the same time. It's hard.
Hectic, I can imagine.
Very.
Yeah, because they've got the retro zone over the other side of the building, and you'd have had a...
That's far too far away from me. Can we arrange for it to be here tomorrow? So this is one of the problems. I'm a gamer at heart as well. I want to be out there playing everyone else's games, and I've got to be here manning my booth telling people how wonderful my games are, and it's difficult walking past a Nintendo stand with an enormous smile on my face yesterday. It's like, I want to be playing these. Mario Party. I love Mario Party games.
They do have a very good selection on this year. Nintendo putting in a very big appearance, but no signs of Microsoft this year. It's just
the map they were here.
The developers are,
Right.
and they've got Microsoft on their stands, but
Yeah.
it's a strange one.
Yeah.
Because you'd thought they'd be wanting to, but anyway, we're not here to talk about Microsoft.
Yeah, quite right.
So that is Kid Trip, available now on 3DS and Switch. And Miles and Kilo, available now on Switch.
Also available on Steam and iOS, but that's not published by Four Horses. That's published by the original developer, Mike. So if you haven't got a Switch, go support him anyway through those platforms.
Yep.
Or buy a Switch and support me.
Yes. And soon coming Xbox One, PS4.
Coming to Xbox One, PS4, Vita, and, Vita hopefully. As Sony kill it. And Windows Store.
Well, I really enjoyed my playthrough. Phil is still enjoying his playthrough. Are you on the same level there, Phil? How far have you got?
World 2.
World 2. And did you start from the very beginning, did you?
Wherever you were.
Yeah, that was the very beginning, yeah. So, yeah, Phil's engrossed, so that's you for the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah, should be.
Well, you could go off. You can go off and play those, and Phil can man your... I'll loan him to you for... There you go, Phil. See?
But there's 3 other people with me the weekend, so I might get a chance to go around.
Oh,
there.
nice. Yeah, definitely go and check out the Retro Zone if you're into your old school games.
That sounds good.
But if you're not into if you are into your old school games, but you're also a new school gamer, is that a thing? Yeah? Go online, go onto your appropriate system, find yourself Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo, and go and support the devs, so hopefully they can make more games like this and continue to bring platforming fun to the systems. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for talking to me. I enjoyed it.
So there we go. That was Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo talking to Mick, who was very nice. He was
Lovely
enjoyed
guy.
chatting to him.
Well, you were chatting to him. I was massively engrossed.
You were, yeah. You were playing Miles and Kilo on their Switch, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
And it was very good.
Yeah.
Very Adventure Island kind of
I got
fun.
to do one of the boss levels as well, which I was kind
Oh,
of...
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was... the boss level was chasing down a cat.
Chasing down a cat.
Chasing down a cat.
Fair enough.
Because the dog went a bit crazy.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously, the dog's gone... You got the dog on the lead and you're literally waving behind it. And, yeah... So there's a part where the cat jumps up because there's all these mice running towards it, but you can't touch the mice, so you have to jump and then like dive towards the cat to hit it, and then all the mice fly away.
Okay.
You got to do that 3 or 4 times.
Nice. Oh well. So, do you recommend Miles and Kilo? For
I
those
loved
Switch
it, man.
owners
I
out
loved it. I think it was a fantastic game.
Good.
Literally so easy. Even though you die, you know it's such a simple thing to do, so it's only your fault that you're dying, and it's not that you get angry about it as well. It's not like, I don't know if you were getting angry that you were dying. I found it quite
No, I
relaxing.
wasn't.
It was quite a relaxing game, even though you died.
It doesn't punish you for that death.
No.
I mean, you get. I think it doesn't. It start you from. Isn't there a checkpoint?
No, it doesn't start you from the checkpoint. And the levels aren't too long.
Okay.
But it literally just starts you from the beginning again. And the levels are usually around about, I think about 30 seconds long. 30 to 40 seconds long. So it's not a long level, it's just, obviously there's things in between that level that make it a bit difficult.
So there you go, folks. Miles and Kilo, that's one to look out for. If you're at EGX this weekend, then that's one to go and play. It's in the Res section. Otherwise, if not, and you are a Switch owner looking for a fun platform game, then go onto the eShop and check it out.
Totally recommend
There
it.
you go.
Totally.
So what other title, before we go on to our next interview, what other titles did we check out? We played Jump Force.
That was the next one.
Oh,
That was the next one.
good. We
How
didn't get
did
to
you
play the
find-
build with Yugi in it that they'd announced.
That kind of annoyed me a little bit.
You want to know how he plays,
I just
don't
want
you?
to know how he plays.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that fussed about him in the game, but I'm just intrigued to find out how they're making him in the game. Because obviously he isn't a fighter like the other characters.
No, where he doesn't. He uses
He
the
stands
cards, doesn't
there, and then he goes, "I used my trap card."
Yeah. You've activated
Activated my-
Zodia.
And I will punish you with him.
Use my blue eyes white dragon.
Where the other guys are just, what?
Yeah. Well, 'cause
Rasengan.
I yeah, like Juju.
Yeah.
I played as, who did I have? I had Luffy.
You had Luffy, you had... I'm trying to remember who else you had.
I had Ichigo
Yeah, you did.
and Vegeta.
Yes. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, because I was against Goku, Luffy, and
Can't remember who you were against.
no, I can't remember either. Anyway, I know I really liked it.
You liked it?
It was, as I said, it was similar to the controls of Ultimate Ninja Storm.
It's
It's kind of a mix, because you've not played Burning Blood, have you? The One
No,
Piece.
I haven't.
The controls are a kind of a mix between that and the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. Burning Blood has quite a unique
feel to it.
Yeah, the controls are kind of, rather than having simple attacks and stuff, you've got modifiers
Oh,
on
okay.
them that are controlled using the shoulder buttons, and it's all about when to
Use them.
use them. But you played it after me, and didn't you? And you were,
I had Blackbeard.
you did, yeah.
I had Hisoka, which is Hunter x Hunter's like evil guy.
Okay.
It's just like clown, and I can't remember who my third pick was.
You went for Frieza, didn't you?
I did, yes. I didn't even get Frieza out. I don't think,
You didn't, no.
because I think they had Frieza on the other side. They had Frieza, Zoro, and someone
I don't
else.
know. I can't remember.
I literally just went for 3 bad guys. Because like, yeah, bad guys.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
guys.
I'm a bad guy.
And bad guy. Did you like it?
I loved it. It just felt so smooth, and obviously, you find with the anime games, there's not much in terms of combat. Like the combat's usually very basic. Like no matter what you do, it looks similar, but it didn't feel similar. If that makes sense. Like
Okay.
it didn't feel like you were just, even though you're pressing the same buttons, it didn't feel like it was the same sort of moveset that you were doing. It didn't feel exactly the same. I don't know
Okay.
why, but that was
Beautiful, beautiful game, though.
stunning. I didn't know how they were gonna push anime characters into a world that's meant to be more realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the characters look amazing.
Yeah.
Like-
The character models are stunning.
Because I was worried about how, like, these characters going into a world that's more realistic than what they're usually based in,
Yeah.
and how they would portray them. And it's done so well. The artwork for all of them,
Yeah.
spot on.
Yeah. Well, we went through, we had like a whole kind of fighting games.
Minute.
Yeah.
Well, a bit
Well,
longer
it was
than a minute.
probably about,
20, 30 minutes.
and that was only because your controller kept disconnecting. We'll have to give Soul Calibur 6 a second chance
We do,
with
yeah.
a controller that, because every time we tried to we'd get going for a bit, and then Phil's controller would disconnect, and then we had to go through the rigmarole of switching it back on, reconnecting, syncing it back up with the PlayStation,
Pressing
pressing the
select
options to
option, yeah.
select, and then,
Then
I
you
had to press options in order.
And then
to,
I had to press circle, do a couple of moves, and then you were blaming it on the fact that obviously any time that I was getting hit, it seemed to have caused it to come out and not want to do anything.
Yeah.
You're like, you're doing this on purpose. I was
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Yeah, it was. Well, and then first we had to restart, didn't we? Because for some reason Yoshimitsu wouldn't move.
Your character would literally just, he would move backwards and forward, but he wouldn't do any moves.
No, yeah, that was strange, but it was good though.
I enjoyed it. That was a good fight as well.
We will have to give it another go on that
I think you
on
won
a
the
working
first game.
controller.
The first round, I won the second round. You won the third round. I won the fourth round. You won the fifth round.
Yeah, it was good. And then we went and played the My Hero Academia game.
We did.
Isn't it? Was it One Heroes?
Let me have a look.
No, it's weird. My Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
My Left Foot.
My right foot.
My Left Nut.
Academia
Ha, ha,
game.
ha, ha, ha.
Let's find out what it's called.
Is it? It's
Just-
once, twice, three times the
times.
lead.
Is that My Heroes One Justice?
One's Justice.
We played that. And I don't know anything about My Hero Academia.
No,
at
me
all.
either.
But I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was mental. I punched you really hard, and you were then on the wall, and then we were fighting on the wall, and then you punched me at one point, and I got stuck in the floor. And was it just my legs were poking out?
Yeah. I think when you did it to me, my legs were just poking out.
Oh, okay. And then we were fighting on the wall, and we're knocking things down, and
It was
then when
crazy.
your character turned into my character,
that was weird. I like that character.
I
that
think
was
we
played
need
as.
to. I think we need to play that again as
Yeah.
well. I think we need to go back to the Bandai Namco section and just.
Because that was, I wasn't the thing is, I think the reason why I liked it is because I wasn't expecting anything. Whereas with obviously the other two, you kind of got a bit of a feeling behind them, and you know what you're expecting. Whereas with a game that you've got no understanding of and nothing there, you're kind of like, especially as you don't know the characters quite so well, so you're like, I don't know anything about them. So as you're playing it, and you're like, what? Why? What?
Yeah. And it was just
It was
mental.
crazy.
Yeah. But we also need to go back to Soul Calibur 6 because I want to play as Geralt from The Witcher.
If you play as Geralt, I'll play as Yoshimitsu. Because obviously, didn't really get to play him that much, did you?
No. Well, it wasn't all that busy. We didn't have to wait long to get to go on it.
seconds.
So, yeah. So, I think we can definitely... Well, we got 3 more days, so we can go...
At any time.
Yeah, we'll start beating other people.
Oh, yeah. We'll get the game and we'll be like the best in the world. from
No,
day
I
one.
mean people who are here at EGX this weekend.
I remember, we by the time
We'll
we get
start
the game...
trouncing all of the... yeah, but we'll go on the online...
To be honest, I think on the Hero Academia game, I could probably trounce a lot of people.
Yeah, true.
I felt quite confident in that. I don't know why.
I did it because you turned into my character. Oh, God, I'm tired. You turned into my character and confused the hell out of me.
Because you were like, what's going on? What's going on?
I was like, hang on, my character's not doing what...
Because I said to you, I literally said to you, my character's turned into your character. And you're like, what?
Yeah, because you hadn't even picked them as support characters.
No.
I
But I think my character has the ability to change themselves into your character.
I think I need to watch My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
I've been recommended to it because I was all-star, all-strong.
So, yeah.
I'm going to get stick for
One moment. Let's have a gander at the
All-
roster.
bright. No.
Is basically the manly man.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's one of the teachers or something.
I'm not sure. You've got more knowledge on that than I do.
Because I think he's a meme.
Is he?
He pops up and he's regularly a meme. Allspark. No, that's Transformers.
It wasn't muscular, was it?
No, he's called All something. So if you Google My
All
Hero-
Might.
All Might, that's the one.
Yeah.
Like
All Might.
Marmite's brother.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
I don't know who I played as, but I played as a girl that has this thing at like
She had knives.
she had little
She had knives. She were a crazy bitch.
I literally was like, I don't know any of these characters. I'm just going to pick a load of girls because I thought it'd be funnier. And bloody hell, that girl's insane.
She ran at me.
She was crazy.
She was stabbing.
I had the ability to do some sort of Shikamaru thing with not even Shikamaru. You could say it was more, what's the Sand Village? The guy that controls the puppet.
Oh, Cam him. Right, it's my turn to Google.
But yeah, I had the ability to send out these wires onto you at one stage, and they were like blue cables that attached to you. And I did that, and then I used like my secondary character to attack you, and I don't think you could move that much when I did that to you. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's useful.
That guy on the right, Kankuro.
Yeah, like Kankuru, but like I was controlling you as a puppet.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
because the strings, and I was like, oh, yeah. Every time I saw them appear, I was like, oh. So yeah, we need to definitely.
I to be honest, that character that I was playing as, I would happily stick with them quite easily.
Yeah. I think Soul Calibur 6 is on my list of getting if they announce. I think there might be the single player has been announced, but I don't think it's.
What, the caves, the dungeon thing?
Yeah, they've announced that there is, but they haven't given any details on it.
Oh, okay.
That's a possibility. It's not day one. My Hero Academia maybe if it's cheap.
If it's like 20 quid.
Or if I watch the anime and end up really liking the anime.
Yeah. This is where you and me, as of next week, start watching it and going, this is probably...
Oh, but I've got Food Wars that I'm trying to get through.
Well, I'm going to start watching it anyway.
And I'm trying to finish watching Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex.
How many episodes has it got? See if it's on Crunchy.
And Jump Force is day one.
Oh, Jump Force is definitely. That was amazing.
Probably even collector's edition, because I are whore.
I are whore. I are whore.
I are whore. You remember that series?
I do.
I am Weasel.
No, it wasn't that. It was I are whore.
I are whore.
I are whore.
Oh, we're very different channels we watched. So what else did we play big? And then we'll go into the next interview before rounding off this
also
episode.
Played... I'm just trying to think now. Yeah, I'm so happy that I got this tick box thing. I think that's it. I swear we played more than that.
We did.
No.
Yeah,
Assassin's
we
Creed.
did.
Assassin's Creed,
Yep.
Hitman 2,
Yep.
Jump Force,
Yep.
the My Hero Academia game.
Didn't we wander down... We queued for something else. We must have queued. We did, and it was only...
Soul Calibur 6.
Right.
I know what we... Yeah,
What?
I know what it is.
What?
Give me 1 second. I forgot to click it off because we had to run to the next interview.
We watched the video for Just Cause 4.
We can talk about that for a second while I remember what we...
Oh, yeah, well, we were standing around thinking what to do, and we were in one particular area, and the sign said Just Cause 4, which sadly isn't playable, as first we thought. On the big screen, the video said... was counting down Just Cause 4 presentation
Literally
and
at
giveaway.
4
Literally
seconds.
4 seconds. So we were a matter of 5-6 foot away from it. So we walked over, sat ourselves down, and watched this Just Cause 4 presentation. That game looks awesome.
It looks really good.
The new features they've introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really, really good. I like the wind gun.
Yes, the wind gun, the new balloons like Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Metal Gear's Fulton kind of balloons. Yeah, that looked sadly not playable, and the weather as well. You can see that their developers have been playing Breath of the Wild.
And enjoying it.
Oh yeah, because of the balloons. Yeah, they've got to. Just Avalanche must have been big fans of Breath of the Wild. introducing the weather bits and pieces and the balloons. And then we got a baseball cap out of the
We did.
out of the bargain, so that was nice.
I can't remember the name of the game, but I know you've already pre-ordered it due to the pure fact you want it on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
There we go.
We'll talk about that when we come back from this next interview.
Okay.
Hold that thought, Phil.
I'm holding it.
Hold it.
I'm holding it.
Hold it tightly. Never let it go.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Never gonna
send you
turn
around to interview.
Well done. That was very good. You're on it this evening. We played Arca's Path VR, and we talked to Albert, who was the creative director.
He was the creative director. I remember that.
So yes, this is us two talking to Albert about Arca's Path VR.
Hello. Yes, you beat me to the punch there, Phil. I wasn't expecting that. Well, it's because you were so quiet on the first one.
Engrossed in the first one.
Yes, you were engrossed in the first one, but we've both had playtime now, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
So with another interview,
We do.
fresh off the
Off the headsets.
fresh off the stove, I was going to say, because it's still the first day of EGX, and we've got another guest with us, another interview. Sir, thank you for joining us. If you wouldn't mind telling us who you are and where you're from and what you're doing here today.
Sure thing. My name's Albert Bentel. I'm the creative lead on a project called Arca's Path, which is a physics platform game which is being released on all VR headsets on December the 4th. It's been developed by Dream Reality Interactive.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Now, we've just had a little play. Well, that was the full demo that you've got on the show floor this weekend. So it's Arca's Path VR. If you can tell us what exactly is Arca's Path, because I could describe it as... what, sorry?
You might be wrong.
I might be wrong. Yeah, but why wouldn't I? I mean, I'd say it's kind of... If you... Yeah, monkey ball.
Yeah.
With a hint of the audio's got a hint of Blade Runner about it, all kind of smushed together. But we're definitely not doing it any justice.
I don't know, like that's pretty much what we were going for.
Okay.
Like, it's a ball rolling game that you control entirely with your head. So it works on all VR platforms, like I said, and it's essentially you're navigating this kind of cyber labyrinth that exists within a virtual reality headset from the future. The setting for the game, it's a kind of dystopian world, so not unlike Blade Runner. You play as this young girl who's, the kind of lowest in society. She kind of lives on this scrap heap, hasn't got anything positive in her life, and one day discovers this magical item that transports her into this fantasy world, where she turns into a ball and rolls around. That's the kind of setup essentially. But of course, it's a sci-fi fairy tale, and as with most fairy tales, things start to take a darker turn, and the world inside the simulation starts to change and become a bit darker. And yeah, it's about her journey through this world, basically.
So, where did the original idea stem for Arca's Path? What's the inspiration behind it?
It's partly, built on this core mechanic of guiding a ball round just using your head. At the time that we started development, we didn't really know what platform we were targeting, so we were like, we need to try and make something that will work on anything, because these guys might give us money, or these guys might give us money, so we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot and make a game that doesn't work on all of them. And also, that's a really good design challenge to go. Just use your head, see what you can do with that. Also, we're a small startup. We're really keen to build our own IP, develop our own IP. So we were really conscious of the fact we wanted to have a story that went along with it, with a kind of an implied world. So we did lots of world building. So these are all kind of goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning, and this is just where those goals took us, basically.
So we started out in the demo in here. It's very lush, almost a neon. I'd say more of a pastel kind of abstract forest kind of a landscape. And you say it takes a darker turn. I can see from the footage in front of us that it starts to grey. It's got some darker colours. Can you tell us anything behind why this world seemed to be deteriorating? Because when I came out of the end of the demo, you see there's damage to the mask that she's...
So effectively, what you're seeing there is the mask gets kind of broken. The girl doesn't really understand why or what's happened to it. So essentially she starts with nothing. She's on this scrap heap. She finds this amazing thing. She's like, this could change my life. This is going to take me into a much happier place. And then it gets taken away from her again. So her mission to begin with is, how do I fix this? How do I get this mask working again? But like I said, it becomes apparent that maybe that shouldn't really be what she focuses on. Maybe if she gets too deep into this world, there might not be a way back out again. And that's when more challenges. So there's more characters that get introduced to the game. So she kind of has to do battle with this kind of witch, this android witch, who's basically almost like a kind of Hansel and Gretel style narrative.
Okay. So the section that we played on, you had the thin platforms that kind of snaked through the landscape with edges on it, and then as we got further, there were some without edges on it, much to my frustration. So I had to remember that the ball had momentum to it, and I had to make sure that I didn't go flying off into the distance and have to start from the beginning. But then it introduced knocking a block over in order to become a bridge. And then the monkey ball section where it kind of starts to go downhill, and you've got the half pipe that's twisting and turning. What other obstacles do we encounter along the way?
So what we've basically done is we've done as much with the physics as we can. So we're kind of some more interactive elements, things that you can push or things that you can smash into. What we don't want to do is change the way the ball behaves particularly, because it's once the players learn how that works, to try and mess around with that feels like it could end up making, frustrating some players. So it's the additional challenge comes from the level design rather than from adding features to adding new mechanics basically. So essentially the complexity of the levels, far fewer paths, things that might drop out from beneath you, so that kind of stuff, typical platforming kind of fare basically.
And what I did find as I was hurtling down the half pipe section was there were glowing crystals. Are they crystals? Are they jewels? Is there a power up? Is there a pickup kind of a?
Collecting those does have a purpose, but it's something that will be discovered, when you play the full game.
Okay, so that's to be.
That's literally what I was going to ask about.
Oh, is that literally what you're going to ask?
Ask about that.
So we encountered 2 stages. Now, is it separated into chapters and worlds? What's the build for the overall?
Yeah, effectively, it's the 2 levels you played there are kind of from the very beginning of the game, pretty much. So they're quite easy. It's still, like you said, got that kind of peaceful atmosphere. And then there's also, you notice, there was a bit more story that came at the end of that. Mm-hmm. So that's basically the structure of the game will repeat in that form. So you'll kind of get a bunch of levels, a bit of story, and between, that will kind of punctuate the changes in the world. So the story will punctuate the change in the game world.
So once you've, as well as the story mode, are there any other modes that you plan on adding at release? Do we have like a time attack or anything? I know that's more of an arcadey thing, whereas the feel for this is very much narrative, kind of physics puzzles to draw you in. But
That's all still kind of TBC as well, I'm afraid. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's fair enough. You don't want to always look at the further ahead until you've actually got to the start. As you, yeah. There's some sort of sentence, some sort of confirmative sentence in there somewhere. Yes, it's the end of what's been quite a surprisingly long day. So
Well, hopefully you're able to relax a bit with this.
yeah, no, it was. I struggle a little bit when it comes to motion sickness, and there were a couple of moments where I kind of felt myself go, oh, but it's handled. It's very gentle in its approach. Is that something that you were all quite concerned with when beginning?
I mean, movement in VR games is always a kind of slightly touchy subject, but you can't really have a platform game without some degree of movement. So we were like, that's something we're prepared to like risk. We've also done lots of work on making it comfortable. You know, we've done some tricks with the camera, like we're sort of scaling the camera so that everything else feels smaller, so that you don't actually feel like you're physically moving that fast. It feels like you're moving kind of a few feet per second, when actually, if you're actually playing it properly at scale, you'd be moving like 30 miles an hour kind of thing, and you'd be feeling really good. So all of these little things are kind of, you know, the speed at which the maximum speed at which you can move, like all of those little things are kind of very much controlled so that people don't get into a state where they can feel ill without sacrificing the fun.
No, it feels very just enough that you're not feeling like, oh, come on, this is taking too long, or oh my god, this is too fast, I can't keep up, and you end up pulling a muscle in your neck.
Or you're feeling sick from just staring at well, not a screen, but feeling sick from actually looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff wasn't past you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks fantastic. It's got a real look to it that makes it unique from what we often see in a lot of VR titles. And the kind of compact worlds give it a nice, not a sandbox, what do you call it? Snow globe kind of a...
Yeah, kind of diorama-y.
Yeah.
That was something we kind of quite like about it.
And and it's very good that VR has come to that point now that people are actually realizing that they don't have to go big and bombastic with it to bring you this immersive.
There's definitely room for that, but like there's room for this stuff as well. Like it's kind of people. I think as a kind of gaming format, like it needs to have something for everyone. Otherwise, you know, a lot of people won't ever get to see it.
No, exactly. Well, I mean, I really enjoyed
it, and I like the way the momentum worked using the headset, which I don't think I've seen much of in terms of PSVR or other.
No, it's finding the. Was it always because you say it was trying to find something that more people could play, something a bit more universal when it came to.
It definitely became apparent that it was an advantage not having to teach people controls practically. You put it on their head and you don't have to like hand them a controller and then say, no, not that button, the one to the left of your thumb. No, you're pressing the wrong one. Like, which is something that if you're trying to demo a VR game where you have controls, you always encounter that thing of like people going. You say no, your left hand. You're like no, the other left, and it's like people just don't really. When they've got the thing on their head, they find it so much harder to. This is one of the easiest games I've ever had to demo, like VR or not VR. Like this is just you put it on people's heads and they can just play.
There you go.
Instantly get what they've got to do.
Like these events are so easy. Like with this game, it's really good.
Yeah. So you've got the here all weekend with Arca's Path VR, and you say it's out 4th of December. And is that just PSVR? What are we expecting on the?
Going to be everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Which is quite a tall order, but we're getting there. Like,
So,
so like PSVR, Oculus Rift, Oculus Go, Gear VR, Vive Focus, and Windows Mixed Reality.
and you say you're just a small startup.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive for.
It's, our coders are suffering at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is more stuff that they have to deal with than us designers. It's like out of our hands now. So for them.
And how long has it been? Have you been working on it?
The actual production actual full production has been like sort of since January this year. But we started prototyping the year previously, and it was kind of, we got the mechanic down ages ago, but it was then a case of hunting around for funding. And once we got that from Rebellion, it was like all hands on
Full
deck.
steam ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks fantastic, and I wish you the best of luck this weekend, and I really look forward to its release on December 4th. I think this is going to be a must-buy for my VR, my newly purchased VR. At least it won't make me sick. That's the
thing. And it's gentle.
Yes, not like Resident Evil, that not only made me sick, but also made me
you sick down below.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and this is the ultimate. This is the cure for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. Wish you the best of luck. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
There we go. Arca's Path VR talking to Albert.
Good old Albert.
Yeah. To be honest, I think you aren't going to get any better than Arca's Path VR this weekend. And do you know why?
Why? Because my finger.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't think I think I finished it probably quicker than you. I don't know how long you were out of the headset.
Well, when you finished, had I taken off the headphones? Because I took the headphones off, but still sat there with
no,
the
you were
headset
stood
on.
up.
Oh, then I'd been long off of it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Maybe it was around about the same time. But because obviously I had the long intro and then a bit of a long outro as well for that game.
Yeah, I stopped. I didn't know if it was the end of the demo or not.
I
but I
kept
took the
watching
headphones off.
until it said Rebellion, and then I was like, oh, I suppose that's the end.
Oh, I stayed watching that, but I didn't have the sound
Oh, okay.
because I wasn't sure if it was the
What
end.
did you think about it?
I really liked it.
I did really like it. I think my only problem was mainly because it was the first two levels. There wasn't enough falling off, sort of that dread of falling off.
Yeah. There are some demos when you think, like the Assassin's Creed one went on was probably a bit longer than the time that we had. The same with Hitman.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
Whereas this Arca's Path, I wanted to play more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's good, but it's also I like to know that I could go back and play a little bit more
I
of
think
a,
if they
like one more stage.
something that was a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
Like maybe if they had the first two levels and maybe one a little bit further on to give you a bit more of a challenge, and maybe you don't finish that part, but it's like it's a little bit harder because it felt easy. But then I think that's the whole point of it anyway.
Yeah. But I still think that it just needed
One more part to it.
one more part of the demo just to kind of, but I suppose that can only be a good thing.
It can be because
Because-
obviously we're talking about it now and we're interested.
Yeah.
What else there was
December,
talking-
wasn't it? That it's
December the 4th.
December the 4th.
I remember that because he looked at the sign. I was like, "Why are you looking at the sign?" Oh, because it says December the 4th.
Yeah.
That's why you just mentioned December the 4th.
So hopefully, we'll try and get in touch with them and see if we can get a review copy and follow up.
It feels awesome. I love the way that you track the ball using just the VR. No controller, no nothing. It's really well thought out.
I was trying to think, watching the girls playing it who were on before us, and I was like, how does this game work with just moving your head? Because I honestly couldn't think of...
My only other qualm with it is, depending on how long it is, and if you're sat there playing it for some time, I think you might have a bit of a neck issue if you played it for too long.
Yeah, possibly, but I mean, I suffer with quite a stiff neck most
Anyway.
of the time.
And you didn't have a problem?
No.
Oh, okay, maybe not then. Maybe not then.
So, and no real hints of any motion sickness either, which is always a plus in my
I think
book.
I had it one stage, and it was more, I think I blinked, and it moved, and I kind of just went, woo, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it
no,
was
I
round
got...
the first bend that went like that, if that makes sense. I don't know,
Mm.
okay, it sounds strange that I just said like that, but it's
like that.
Like if you went to the...
Like that?
yeah,
or
like that.
Or like that?
Like that. It's like the bottom of a C that I'm drawing in
This
thin
is
air.
great radio.
It is. Like
Just like that.
So it's like the bottom of a C, but you're drawing from the bottom going around to the top.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
so like this.
You're literally drawing a CV, and I don't know what else other letters you're drawing.
Yeah. I'm going freestyle.
I know you
No,
are.
I thought it'd be funny for...
Everyone.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
No, I thought that I would... Because you can see when the ramp bit, the half-pipe bit was coming up towards the end.
Yeah.
But you could see it from further back the level. And I was like, that looks cool. But if any part of this game is going to give me motion sickness, it'll be that bit. Because I thought it's going to speed up.
Oh, what, going down that sort of like
Yeah.
half-pipey ramp?
I expected it to give me to turn for my stomach to turn but
the thing
not
is, the
even
angle,
slightly.
the angle that it went into is directly behind at a higher altitude, so it didn't feel like you were going that fast.
Okay.
Which is what
Yeah, he said, Albert.
Albert said.
Oh dear! I do not think we will be watching Bleach.
No. I might put on a couple of episodes of My Hero Academia later.
Oh, I thought we'd watch some more Paradise
But when you fall
PD.
asleep.
Possibly, but it mainly be because is it dubbed or is it subbed?
Dubbed. No, subbed.
I could probably watch one or two.
Oh, you could do Paradise PD. I was just going to watch it on my phone, but
Oh, I thought you were going to stick it on the laptop.
can do.
Anyway, this is a conversation we could be having.
This is a personal conversation that we're now having on a podcast
Yes.
for all of you to listen to.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do we do? Vote yes for.
Put hashtag Hero Academia or hashtag Paradise PD.
I think it might be Paradise PD.
Depends on...
Listeners.
Yeah.
Listeners.
I think it will be a tight... But we'll see.
As tight as 2 for 1
but-
before we get to watch it.
Yeah. Before we leave it there, we played one more big offering,
We did.
and we confused the people working on the thing because they showed us around the corner. I was like, no, I want to play the Switch version. I was like, Phil, come on, I want to play the Switch version. You were like, what? Just about to sit down, and then we held up the queue and
Upset everyone.
upset everyone because they were still resetting the switches.
Yeah.
And no, they were just they were resetting the demos and
Resetting the demo
resetting
and
the
cleaning
toys,
the toys.
cleaning the toys. And Starlink Battle for Atlas we played,
We did.
and I selfishly got you off the Xbox version because I specifically wanted the Switch version.
To be honest, I think I would have preferred... I'm happy to say that I played on the Switch version than the Xbox version, because I think the Switch version is more... It probably works better for it,
Yeah.
especially with the actual console itself and the way the ship is inbuilt onto the controller. It doesn't feel like it takes up too much room, whereas I think the ship on the Xbox controller would take up too much room,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Passe.
What is it? A different mount on the Xbox controller?
I think it's a similar mount, but it's obviously it's not as. I don't know. I just felt like it might not fit as nicely over it.
We'll have to have a go on the Xbox version tomorrow,
All right. We'll do that then.
or one of the other days if we get chance. We'll have
Yeah.
to test out and see.
What do you think of it?
Give
Review.
our opinions on that side of things. But we played Starlink Battle for Atlas on the Switch
We
with
did.
the R-Wings, didn't we? They didn't
did.
have Fox as the pilot, because you have to. I didn't realise that you have to clip the pilot on
And then
build the ship around him.
that was
That's-
quite cool
yeah.
actually. That was really cool.
I was not expecting that, and then you can switch out and you can put 2 sets of wings on
Yeah.
top, and then a weapon. So
You could put.
extra wing on it.
I didn't realise as well. You can put on some of them. They have weapons that also have another slot for a weapon on top of that
Splot.
weapon. Splurt has another
Splurt.
slot for a weapon to go on top of it.
Okay.
So it's like
So
a
double weapons.
yeah,
Oh, what?
yeah.
Well, I was hesitant because I've got a pre-order for it, mainly because of the Star Fox
X-Wings.
R-Wings that
R-Wings,
come in
yeah.
the
X-Wings.
in that version.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But I think I'm gonna keep my pre-order and get.
You're gonna get it.
I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
I don't think I will be in a rush to get it, and if I do get it, it would have to be for the Switch. I think having the concept of having the R-Wings seems a little bit more fun
Yeah.
than it does to.
But well, the thing with that one as well is there is a whole story on the Switch version, including Fox and the Starwing team.
Well, that makes more sense
So
in the long run.
yeah, and even the cutscenes and stuff are rendered with them
In it.
in it.
Oh, that's so much better.
So yeah,
In the long run,
I'm
it makes
that
more sense.
much of a Starwing fan and Lilac Wars that is a big selling point for me.
Yeah, no, that makes 10 times more sense than it would do to get it anything else.
Yeah, because
it
I mean,
makes it makes it a Star Fox game without it being a Star Fox game.
yeah, which is, and I think it's all. Having read a few articles, it's more down to the fact that Star Fox Zero wasn't all that, and the series unfortunately has dipped slightly. Because I think if Starwing was still a bigger franchise than it was and had some good games, then we might not necessarily have got Star Fox in Starlink. So, but we'll definitely that is day one for me, because
I need to buy a.
yeah, you got to get a Switch first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we will check out if we get the opportunity. We'll check out
the Xbox or PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, and give a verdict on
That.
that one. It certainly looks better from what I saw whilst we were queuing.
On the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's obvious reasons. Not in a horrible way to the Switch, but it's obvious reasons. But I'm sure that if you had the Switch R-Wing and you put it on the Xbox or PS4 version, it probably won't work.
Yeah. Oh, no. I don't know. Because everything is supposed to...
What, cross?
Yeah.
Is it?
So maybe the ship is, but Fox isn't.
But then if everything's crossed over and you've got Star Fox, you got Fox and you've got like Toad and all the characters, and you've put that in as your base character because you've borrowed it off your friend,
Yeah.
and then you put the R-Wing on top of it, what would happen?
Good point. I might have to look that up. Because I don't think anyone there
Well, no.
will know.
Well, what we could do, it's a bit dodgy, is take it as we walk around the corner to the Xbox One.
Yes.
We could be naughty.
We could.
We could be naughty. We could be very naughty.
We could. Keep listening, folks. Find out in a new episode soon of coming from EGX 2018.
You might find that we're banned from EGX 2018. No, I doubt
For
it.
Swapping toys around.
I doubt that we will be.
But we've kind of given thought to what we want to go and check out tomorrow.
Yep. Let me load up the list.
Oh no, we're not going to go through. It'll be a surprise.
Oh, okay, surprise.
The people at home, wherever they may be listening, can tune into EGX 2018 Part 2, where we have more interviews, which we're going to be doing tomorrow. So whether or not we record tomorrow night, or we just chill out and watch Bleach. Because it's later finish tomorrow as well at the...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock close tomorrow.
Ah.
So there you go. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, folks. We apologise for the wait between episodes.
Don't know what we're talking about.
Hopefully, however many we come up with for EGX make up for... Yeah.
The amount that we haven't done recently.
That was a big yawn then, Phil.
That was a very big yawn. Some would say I'm getting tired.
Yes.
Some.
I think we're going to watch My Hero Academia...
Or
My Macadamia Nut.
My Macadamia Nut.
Or Paradise PD. Paradise Lost.
Paradise PD. Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. Fist of the North Star. So yeah, thank you very much, folks. And until next time.
Until
NoahsArcadeUK.com. Find us on our website.
Find us
and Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
We'll be kidding around all week, so if you are actually at... I was going to call it E3. If you're actually at EGX and you see us wearing either a Vanderhoff shirt or a Noah's Arcade shirt, just give us a shout and say hi.
Yeah, come and say hi. We've got badges to give away.
We have.
We're old logo badges.
Old logo.
But badges
Nevertheless.
for free. Nevertheless. So yes, I've been High Stefanition.
I've been Monkey Man Phil.
And we will see you...
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. If not, soon.
Yeah.
Bye now.